So welcome. This is the start of the 32nd season of the Avon Civic Association Summer Concerts. So we want to thank everybody that's been coming all these years and supporting the concerts. We want to thank the people that are members of the association and the businesses that sponsor these. So we couldn't do that without all the sponsors and the members, and also the volunteers on the committee. So tonight, this is our Flag Day concert. We've been doing this for about 3 or 4 years, just to celebrate the flag and keep the continuation of the patriotic theme for Memorial Day going. Tonight we have the Canton Legion Band. We want to thank them for coming tonight. Tonight's concert is sponsored by the Frank N. Noyes VFW Post 8892 and the Paul E. Clark AMVETS Post 2001 in Avon. So they're the sponsors of this. We want to thank them for all the things that they do for the town to help with the patriotic events we do. So tonight, I apologize that in the hall here we can't have food and things like that. So when we get back to DeMarco Park, we'll have our food court with pizza and popcorn and all the goodies. We do have the 50-50 raffle and the raffle basket out in the hallway. So if you get a chance, stop by for that. We also have the face painting and the balloon folks out in the hallway. So kids and adults, like I said, it's there for whoever wants to get their face painted. So there's a concert schedule and membership applications on the table if you didn't get the chance to see that. We had planned to do a ribbon cutting. We built a new band pavilion up at DeMarco Park. On May 8th, the company came and built it. Back in 2019, we started a fund drive for the Civic Association. It took us 4 years with COVID and all the things that happened, but we raised enough money for the Civic Association to build the pavilion. So we're excited about that. We're actually going to donate it to the town in the next few weeks so that the town has a nice pavilion that it wasn't tax money, it was volunteer money. Selling T-shirts, we sold cookies, we did all kinds of things to raise the funds for it, but again, we couldn't do it without all the folks that come to the concerts. Next week we'll be back at DeMarco Park. If the weather's good, we'll do the ribbon cutting before the concert. Alfie O'Shea and Eddie Dillon will be the band that's up there next week, and that'll be sponsored by Waite's Funeral Home. And Mass Audubon will be there with Animal Encounter show for the kids and adults. So with that, the band is going to play the national anthem. I'm going to ask you to rise for that, and then we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance right after that, and then the band will take over the show.
We'd like you to remain standing for one more piece. The United States and Ukraine have been involved in a conflict with Russia, and we are going to honor our Ukrainian friends with the playing of the Ukrainian national anthem. Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. The next thing we have on our program for tonight is we're going to honor the service veterans, the veterans of the armed services of the United States. And we have a number of veterans in our band. We have Tom is a U.S. Army. Howie is a veteran of the U.S. Navy from D-Day. Bob Stocks is a veteran of the U.S. Army. I'm a veteran of the Air Force myself. And we have Michael back here, who toured with the USO troops for many, many years. So we're going to start with the Army, and if any of you are Army veterans, we'd like you to stand. That includes people in the band, if they want. So our first one is going to be the Army. Navy, excuse me, Marine Corps. Any Marines out there? U.S. Navy. U.S. Air Force. U.S. Coast Guard. Any Coast Guard vets out there? And lastly, this is a little unusual. We have a Canadian Navy member in our band here. So we're going to play their tune, "The Heart of Oak." Thank you very much. I'm going to turn this microphone over now to our conductor, who's been with us for several years now and is doing a great job with our band. I'd like to introduce Gary Good.
All right, so we're going to start the concert part of our program. The first piece we're doing is called Viva España. And as Spanish as it sounds, it's really a Belgian pop song. And it became very popular in Belgium. It was sung in Dutch. In fact, the word Viva would not make any sense in Spanish. They kind of made it up. So they think it's from Que Viva España, which España is Spain. And then eventually it became very popular, and it was used probably at 3 or 4 FIFA World Cups. and it's a Paso Roble kind of feel to it. So it's Viva España. Wasn't that the most Belgian Dutch song you've ever heard? All right, so going on, we're going to play a classical work from the Caucasian Sketches. It's called The Procession of the Sardar. And it's by, I just want to make sure I get it right, Ippolitov Ivanov. He's one of the big five Russian composers of the time period. And the Procession of the Sardar, a Sardar is, I even know what that is. It is a Persian military official or dignitary. Iran sharing a border in the Caucasus mountain range with Georgia, so this is where they're from. And these are probably the most, the Caucasian Sketches, the most performed piece by this composer. And it was written between 1894 and 1896, so we hope you like the theme. Thank you very much. The Canton American Legion Band last year, I conducted my first outdoor summer concert with them last summer here in DeMarco Park. And so this has been a very wonderful year that I've had with them and doing a lot of things. The band itself was founded in 1927, so we'll be looking forward to celebrating our 100th anniversary in 2027. The next piece we're going to be playing is a piece by a New England composer. This is his most famous piece, probably. It's called A New Colonial March. It's by R.B. Hall. And from the publisher that published it back in 1901, they said that this was his most popular march for several years. It was dedicated to John Baer, who was an assistant director of the famous Germania Band of Boston, and was premiered by Hall's own military band at the laying of the cornerstone for the new City Hall at Waterville, Maine. In 1901, it was recorded sometime later by the Pryor Band for the Victor Recording Company. The New Colonial March has been performed for military reviews and concerts in England for so many years that it's often mistaken for an English march. New Colonial March. since we played one march, we might as well play another one. The next one is called Saint Julien. It comes from Canada. And the composer is Arthur Hughes. And the St. Julien March, it was composed in 1918, and it's pretty much, it has a lot of the features of what a standard march would have, but there has some novel features. It has grace notes in a minor key after the introduction, and it has several quick modulations. And it's thought to be named after a town near the French-Belgian border, which saw several battles in World War II. This is a march I also understand was popular with the Milton American Legion Band post-114 when it existed. So the St. Julien March. The next, just to give you a variety of marches, is the Huntress. It's a circus march, and the Huntress is an elephant, I think, and it's a very typical march of Barnum and Bailey Circus. Carl King was a composer who composed way over 100 marches, very famous. He wrote a lot of other incidental pieces, and he's probably, as far as bands go, he's right up there, you know, the same popularity as Sousa. And this is the Huntress. The next piece we're going to be playing, we're going to move away from marches, even though it's still going to be patriotic. Today is Flag Day, and this is a piece, Star Spangled Salute, that we did especially for Avon because it's Flag Day, and this is something we wanted to, achieve as a goal of ours. And it is music of George M. Cohan. It has let's see. So it's more on it's good for a concert, a community band performance, like a pop side, and it has the tunes that many people know, many people might not. Give my regards to Broadway, Harrigan, All in the Wearing, Over There, Yankee Doodle, and You're a Grand Old Flag. The next piece is Astor Piazzolla's Libertango, and it's a piece. It's a timeless masterpiece. It continues to captivate audiences worldwide. The groundbreaking composition, deeply rooted in the Argentine tango tradition, broke boundaries and refined the genre. Is one of Piazzolla's most famous works. Libertango has left an indelible mark on the world of music. The title Libertango means combines libertad, which is freedom, and tango, symbolizing his desire to break free from the constraints of the traditional tango and create a new genre. The distinctive rhythm, harmony, instrumentation showcase his genius and creativity, and it makes it a piece that's heard a lot in the world of music. The release of the music, I think it was 1974, the innovative approach, let me find here. It breaks the art form. It's a new form of tango, and it's arranged for so many things: jazz band, even marching band, concert band. So, and Yo-Yo Ma even recorded it, and so it's so you can see it could go across all those different kind of ensembles and still sound good. And so we're going to do Libertango. The next piece is by a very famous band composer in the world of band, Claude T. Smith. This was his first piece. It's a classic of wind band literature. It's something even I played way back in high school. It was published in 1964, and it was the first piece of music that had asymmetrical time for band. It was in the American educational band scene. So when it first came out, we had this measure that had 7 beats in it. You know, back then it took a while to figure it out. Today it's nothing because we do stuff like that all the time. It also includes a full band fugato. So at the end, you're going to hear these voices come in, and it's just going to keep one section after another is going to keep entering until it comes to a big conclusion. It was originally titled The Overture for Winds and Percussion, and the word imperata has no meaning. I have always heard a rumor that Smith's first publisher didn't like the original title and changed it without Smith's knowledge. So you can think about that one. Thank you. This is one of those pieces that we work on and develop on. Last year, we couldn't have imagined playing a piece like this, so it's nice to see that we grow and build through the whole season. The next piece is a march called Bravura, and the introduction is in a minor key. It's a solid bravura march that is meant for marching, not just listening. The composer, you pronounce it Double? Yes, he's a trombonist. He was a trombonist, and he made sure that the lower brass had their share of interesting soli sections, group sections. An example being the last 4 bars before the repeat at the beginning. So, interestingly enough, he wanted the introduction played twice. The upper woodwinds have their fun at the trio, and although the Bravura March was written for circus use, the rodeo bands, the parade bands, and the football bands also use this march with great frequency. So, Bravura March. Thank you very much. I'd like to take a moment just to show you kind of what the makeup of the band is. We're really lucky. The pandemic was really hard for bands. First of all, because you blow into an instrument. So, I'm teaching elementary school, and when I wanted to have band, we had to be 10 feet apart on a playground, and there were a lot of restrictions, and band was online, and you can't really have a band very well with the pandemic, just so you know. And when we started back, there were probably 8, 10 people, and little by little, we were rehearsing in Mansfield before we got back to Canton because of COVID. And then as time went on, more people started coming, and more people started coming, and we just kind of lucked out with the size that we have, because if I look around, like, we don't have like 20 saxophones and 3 flutes and drums. We have quite a bit of things, and all of these notes that we play, most of these people, like, there's like one on a part. And for some of the instruments that are missing, they have to fill in and cut and paste and try to make the pieces work, and it's quite a feat. So we have, I'm going to start actually with a brass. So we have 3 trumpets. You want to wave, say hi, stand up, you can do whatever. So they each have their own part. So if one of them decides not to play a note, it's just a big hole. That's how music works. And you have to try to be perfect all the time. Like, you can't get a low grade, by how many notes you play. If a band was to get a B, and people were to make that many mistakes, it would sound really, really bad. So they have to play every note all the time. And in order, we have 2 French horns. You can hold them up, wave them, say, I could have them talk, introduce themselves. And I better not, if I forget anybody, let me know. So I have 2 baritones on the end. These are lower brass. And we have 3 trombones playing 3 trombone parts. A lot of work. And we have not 1, but 2 tubas. And we're very fortunate today. We've been pretty much rehearsing with no percussion. And 2 people are coming in and filling in, and it's very wonderful. And one of them, this is his first moment here, Michael's first moment, and it's wonderful. So thanks for coming. Now I'm going to get to the front row. They're very feisty front row, and I'm fortunate enough when they're healthy, we have 6, but we have 5 today, and they're playing 3 parts. And like I said, I have a lot of notes here. We have 5 saxophones, 6 sax. Wait, 1, 2. I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 alto saxophones, and we try to get tenor once in a while. We have a baritone, and then we have 3 wonderful flute players. And so we put this all together and rehearse on Thursdays. I'm not trying to sell it or anything, but at the Pappas Rehabilitation Center. If any of you have played a musical instrument a long time ago, kind of related to one of these, it doesn't have to be exactly like one of these. Like, we don't have banjo or guitar or violins, but as far as, not yet, but as far as band music goes, if you have something in the attic you want to dust off, come in and just read, because that's all we do. We really want to have fun. And I'm coming into directing this band, coming from a high school band of like 20 some years. They play a lot of music, and so I had to digest a lot of music every rehearsal for them to play, and they always want more. I forgot what I was going to say. That happens all the time. So, if I remember, I'll tell you soon. The age range we have from this band, we have someone that plays oboe when she's here. She's 15, and we go all the way up to 98. So if you don't fit in there, then it's still okay. We can expand that. So the next piece we're going to play is a piece by Carl King, the March person, but it's called Kentucky Sunrise. And it's one of those pieces, it's a ragtime piece. It's a piece that I could play on a piano. It sounds a lot like Scott Joplin. And Kentucky Sunrise was actually named after a horse. And how this music gets started, let me find it, just one second. As you can see, I'm very organized. It's originally written to accompany a trick horse act with the Barnum and Bailey Circus. The tune soon became so popular that it was used for a wide variety of acts, including clown walkabouts. All right, so we're going to play Kentucky Sunrise, which I never heard of before I got it here.
How about a hand for the band? Aren't they great? And thank you, guys. All right, so we're going to do the raffles. So we're going to start with the 50-50 raffle. And I think the The winner's going to get $55. Maybe we can have this young lady pick the winner. How's that? Need the number. So it's the green ticket, 0794278. All right, there's a name on the ticket, Geraldine Hughes. Let Geraldine pick the other one. Want to pick the next one?
Good luck, everyone.
So this is for the raffle basket. It's more than $50 worth of dollar bills. This one has a name also, Michelle Aiello. Congratulations. Okay, so I think the band might have one or two more songs. Next week, weather permitting, we'll be at Tomaco Park. We're going to do the ribbon cutting at 6:30 just before the, congratulations. Again, hopefully the weather will be good and we'll do the ribbon cutting before the concert at Tomaco Park. Alfie O'Shea is the performer next week, and Waite's Funeral Home is the sponsor. So thank you for coming out tonight, and enjoy the rest of the show.
As we wind up our program, the next piece that we're going to play is a version of Alexander's Ragtime Band, and I know it because I did it at the same version in marching band back when I was in college. And you hear a lot of different styles. You hear swing, you hear march style, you hear Dixieland, you hear heavy swing. So it all just happens in this very short amount of time. So Alexander's Ragtime Band. Now to do some completely like, I can't believe this is near the end of the concert, but we're going to do Laura's theme, which the leitmotif itself was used in was the song "Somewhere My Love" from Dr. Zhivago. Thank you so much. As you know, the concert's in the park. We usually get a lot of people sitting outside and having fun, and I appreciate all of you brave troopers to come into a school in June on a very rainy day and come and hear this concert that we worked on. So thank you so much. So we'll be in Milton on the 28th, and we'll be in Canton on July 5th, and we'll be back on Flag Day hopefully next year. Thank you.
This is Avon Community Access Media, Channel 9, 98, and 1072. Available at avontv.org.